Hey guys, well, today I'm just going to give you a couple pointers on how I kind of do some decorations and stuff, how I put them together. It's pretty simple. Some of y'all might already know it, but I figured for those that don't, here's a real quick kind of tutorial thing. Basically, all I have here, I have some sticks that I've collected, rocks, things like that. All this came from a local area, lakes, streams, things like that. Now, once I collect it, I bring it home, I do soak it, and then I take a good scrub brush and I scrub it really, really good. I try not to use chemicals, simply because I don't want things like the wood soaking up the chemicals and then releasing them into my tank. So I'll scrub them, I'll change out the water they're soaking in, and I'll do that 3 or 4 times till I feel like they're pretty clean. Same thing with the rocks. The rocks I'm not as picky with. Usually I just soak them and then scrub them and call it good. They're not as porous as the wood is, so that the bad stuff doesn't sit in them as much. Sorry, stupid dogs. So basically, what I do is, find me some sticks that I want and kind of arrange them how I want, type of thing. You can use different ways to connect these. If you're lucky, sometimes you'll find just one big piece and it's all put together. It's real neat and you're good to go. You can throw it right in the tank after you clean it. But most of the time I find to get the desired looks that I want, I have to use different pieces and kind of put them together. So I'll do this. I'll look around and I'll put it up to the tank and see if I like that, this and that, and then either glue. Sometimes I super glue them. Just put a dab of super glue on there, put it together. You could do it that way. This one I've already done. This is the one that I'm going to put in that tank. And all I did here was use some rubber bands. And these are the little twist ties from the grocery store. I always grab them. Every time I'm at the grocery store, I grab a little handful of them because I use them on everything. I use them to tie up my wires. I use them for things like this. I use them to tie plants on. I use them for a lot of things. They're very, very handy. So this one I just rubber band together. The reason why I did this is to get the look I wanted. And now I don't have to hold it. Now I can go back. I can take my super glue here. And I can just put some super glue in the parts that are touching each other. I'm going to try not to super glue the rubber band to it if I can. And this super glue, once it dries, is safe for the tank. It's not going to hurt nothing. So we'll do that. If I can get the lid back on here. And then let me start to take this apart maybe. Maybe we'll get it apart, maybe not. Now that we got that part out of there, I'm going to put just a little bit more super glue on this. Well, that's quite a bit more, but we'll put some more on here just to make sure. Now, we can start taking the rubber bands off. Some of them definitely got glued on there, but it's no big deal. They're just rubber bands, they'll break. Now, you don't have to glue this. You could just rubber band it together and stick it in your tank like that. I try not to do that myself simply because I don't know if there's chemicals in this rubber band that'll break down over time and you know, leach into my tanks. So I typically try not to do that. But once again, now that we got the rubber bands off, we'll put a little bit more glue in the spots where the rubber bands were, just to make sure it's nice and secured. So, my feet. So now, I have this nice little rock here, and this, when it was soaking, when I was cleaning it, wouldn't sink. So instead of soaking it, you know, you can soak it and eventually it'll get waterlogged and sink on its own. What I'm going to do is I got this nice little notch here. So I'm just going to put it in this nice little notch and super glue it in there. It has a little bit of super glue on it and it's sticking to my fingers and everything. It was sticking to the rock there for a second already. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take this, I'm going to set it in there. I'm going to try to get it, you know, kind of how I want it, so that it looks good, you know. I don't know if I want it to sit in there like that. I think that looks good to me. So, now we're right back to the super glue. I'm going to put a little bit in there at first, so that I can stop holding it. And try not to get it stuck to your fingers. Squeeze it on in there. Try to get it in multiple little spots if you can. But that's it for that. Now, the reason I made all this is my Java fern has all these little babies popping off of it. And I want to put them in this tank here, but Java fern cannot be buried because of the rhizome that's in here. It needs to be out of the water, or out of the substrate, sorry. So I am simply going to glue this to the tree. Now this big one is probably going to get glued back in here somewhere, just because it's, you know, a little too big to go up on the tree. So let me get this little dead one off there. I got glue all over my fingers. That's the fun part about this, is the glue on the fingers. So let's go ahead and glue this back here onto our rock. Alright, and then we're going to just start gluing all of our little pieces into different spots. Now, some people try to make, you know, this is how they make trees, things that look like trees at least, in their tanks. Oh, I glued my fingers together. Now, it's always a good idea when you're super gluing to have some acetone. I had to clean my fingers off. They're getting a little sticky there. So we're just gonna keep going. Gluing little pieces on there. Here and there, and randomly, wherever you want them. Uh-oh. Well, that one's glued to my hand. Let me see if I can get that little one in there. Let's put one right here on the end. And get it in there just like that. That's a dead leaf. Wipe that off. Close my cap up. And let's see. I got some other little, just stuff that was floating around in my tank. I think most of it is dwarf hair grass, but there's some other, that might be Gluigia. But we can also glue some of these on there. We'll put this little Gluigia right here. Well, I was trying to glue that to the rock, but it's not working out too well for me. It just wants to stick to the glue. So, let's see what else we got in here. Jumbled up in here. Yeah, we got a bunch of dwarf hair grass. But we can glue it all to it. I'm going to take just this whole chunk of the hair grass. And then we're going to glue it right down in there. So, I think we'll leave it at that. I think everybody kind of gets the idea. Now, you could use, instead of glue, you could use some thread. I've tried it. It works. I feel like it's not as fast, and you can see the thread, which I don't really care for too much. You know, super glue's the method I prefer. It is messy, it is sticky, you know, it is a little bit harder to control, but you just need it to hold it on there long enough for the roots to start growing, and the roots will grow around it and attach itself to it. So yeah, that's it. So let me rearrange the camera and see if we can't get this thing in there for y'all. See what it looks like. Well, guys, that's it in there. I had to sorry for the glare. I had to move my water lily that was in that back left corner. Had to move it over some, but it'll be fine there. But as this grows in, it'll start to look like these over here. How they're all covered. They all started out like that little one there. So just a little bit of time, patience, effort, and you can do anything. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Hope it helped some people out. If you have any questions or anything you might need some help on, or you might want to see how I do it, let me know and I'll try to help you out. Thank you.